Hi, it's Kevin, the chicken, and welcome to part 3 of everything that made David Banner turn into the Hulk. We left off at the end of season 2 with number 69, so let's go ahead and get started. Number 70, drugs, and not just normal drugs. I don't know why it was on these cheesy 70s TV shows, whenever they depicted drug use, it was always so lame, you know. It was like, may I score some marijuana cigarettes from you, Johnny? And the irony is that, you know, the worse the show was, the more drugs the producers were probably doing. Number 71, trampled at a rock concert. Number 72, pushed into a toxic waste dump and crushed with a ton of garbage. Number 73, temporarily blinded while walking through a minefield. I think I've seen enough of these now to say with confidence that you can pretty much break down these Hulk outs into 3 different categories. One is normal things that happen to everybody every day. You know, like not having change for the payphone or getting stuck in traffic or put on hold. 2, getting beat up, attacked by an animal, stuck on something, you know, like a mill wheel or a car going through a car wash, or locked in a cage or a barrel or something. And 3 would be like this instance. This ain't my day, where a combination of unlucky occurrences, lightning, bombs, fire, SWAT teams, falling off cliffs, or getting pinned under something, or multiple temporary physical impediments occur simultaneously, like blindness and amnesia. Now there is a 4th category. I don't think it happens until season 4, but I've watched all these episodes all the way through, and I know with the one I'm talking about. I'll point it out when we get to it. Number 74, chained to the front of an old truck while an old woman in the trailer puts a voodoo curse on his girlfriend. So David's girlfriend or love interest or whatever offended this woman who's the head of some kind of a voodoo tribe or something. So they chain David to the front of a truck and they take the girl inside to put some kind of voodoo curse on her, and the whole time she's screaming, David, David, help me, right? Now I get why being restrained and having someone scream in your face is unpleasant, but they're acting like they think the threat is the voodoo itself. Like he's supposed to be a doctor and a scientist. Why is he all of a sudden believing in voodoo? And I know it might not be unusual if the voodoo was real, you know, like for this story. They had a Doctor Strange movie where the magic and the voodoo would have been real. But it just seems weird that David Banner would be so quick to accept it. Number 75, falling into trash cans after getting shot by the FBI while chasing a bus that his girlfriend's mom is on. So David's got a suicidal girlfriend, and he's convinced that reuniting her with her mother will solve all her problems. Also, for trying to reunite her with her mother, he's accused of kidnapping the girl. Then, by trying to reunite them, the suicidal girlfriend's mom freaks out and runs away from them. Still convinced that this was a good idea, David pursues the mother into traffic. David is immediately recognized by both local and federal authorities and pursued through the streets. Just as his suicidal girlfriend's mom is getting on the bus, David trips over his own 2 feet in the middle of the street and falls down. But he gets back up, runs down the street, is shot by an FBI agent, and falls into some garbage. This isn't the plot of the entire episode. It's just the plot of like the last 3 minutes of screen time. Were the writers on this show in some kind of contest to see who could have the most shit happen to this one guy all at once? Also, for a guy who does clinical research at the level he would be operating, David Banner sure does have a lot of insight into like personal matters. You know, like he's like way too sensitive for somebody that would be operating at that level. In this episode, it's like he's trying to rescue this woman emotionally, and there's actually a scene where he's chasing the mom down the street, and you know how dramatic he is. He's like, you've got to come back. She's only behaving this way because She never learned to express her inner emotions, yelling this at her going down the street. The episode ends with the Incredible Hulk carrying the unconscious mom up to the rooftop where the daughter is still threatening to jump, and she's surrounded by cops and first responders and counselors and everything. But the Hulk shows up with the mom in his arms, and he sets her down, and then he runs away. So even the Hulk, who's driven by rage and solves all of his problems by punching things and throwing things, has enough insight and sensitivity in this episode to just carry the mom to where the daughter is so the two of them can be reunited. And of course, run away immediately after that. Number 76. Chained to a killer falling down a mountain and then bit by a rattlesnake. Number 77. Beat down by a prison gang. Number 78. Handcuffed in a magician's tank without a key. Now here he is, a magician's assistant. Previously, we've seen him working for the NFL and as a mechanic for the demolition derby. My question is, how does he keep getting these jobs with no experience and no references? Number 79, locked in a car trunk by mobsters. Number 80, dragged through the dirt by cowboys on horses. Number 81, locked in a pen with an angry bull. Now these last two, obviously you see he's working in the rodeo because he gets dragged by cowboys on horses through the dirt, and he gets thrown in a pen with an angry bull. Now both of these things, in addition to being needlessly cruel, are like things that could only happen to him at a rodeo. And I get it. It just seems that a cowboy would much more likely shoot you in the head and leave your body out in the desert. Number 82. Beaten up after having his hand shut in the door by an angry gas station attendant while a pregnant woman is screaming at him from the cab that he's driving. Now, early on, I noticed that a lot of David's problems, or the things that seemed to set him off, were his own clumsiness, like dropping something on his own foot or falling down the stairs. But what I'm noticing more and more now, just all the needless cruelty that he encounters. Like here, he went to a gas station to try to buy gas and the guy beat him up. It's like even the most small-time criminal doesn't want to just kill him to get him out of the way. They want to physically torture him and make sure that his death is as prolonged and as painful as possible. Number 83, buried alive again. Number 84, dreaming about his dead mom. Number 85, trying to stop his dad from taking off in a plane. Number 86, stung by a scorpion trying to climb out of a pit dug by a guy on an island who's hunting him for sport. Number 87, bullwhip standing on a mountaintop by a guy on an island who's hunting him for sport. Number 88, shoved underneath a parade float and karate kicked in the face by a guy in a gorilla suit. Number 89, beaten up for trying to debunk a guy's voodoo power. Now it seems weird, we just had a voodoo episode earlier, but at least in this one David's trying to debunk it. We're only halfway through season 3, but we're out of time for this episode. So join us for part 4. Click like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And we'll see you next time on Everything That Made David Banner Turn into the Hulk.